Hello, Internet. I'm Matt Haas, and this is Awesome Wood Things. I made this DJ screen and glowing sign. I used reclaimed 2x2s that my neighbor gave me. He tore apart his shed. I built this thing to withstand some severe punishment. Frankly, I think if you dropped a truck on it, you'd probably break your truck more than you would break this thing. You can see it's covered in the speaker fabric. I have the metal amp protectors on the end pieces and some nice handles. I think these went on kayaks. It does collapse up. There are magnets that keep it together. So when all of this folds up, you can hold it with just one handle and it won't break apart because the magnets I used can hold up to 88 pounds each. They're really powerful. And this top little hanger here is also a business card holder. So the people on the dance floor who might want to use the DJ services can bloop, pick up a card and go. Hope you like it. Here's how I built it. I start by making two sides completely flat and at 90 degrees to each other. Here are the two jointed sides and the untouched sides. The flat jointed side goes on the bed and the rest rides through the planer. Now that top face is completely parallel to the bottom. I remove an edge. This also removes some weight. I don't need the wood quite that thick. And now I have a board that has completely parallel surfaces. Here I'm making some rabbets on both edges of this board. And you'll notice it's a little off center. That's on purpose. One side needs to be deeper than the other. You'll see why in a moment. Then off to the router table to put a nice round over edge. And by some twist of irony, I have what looks like a 2x4 again. Now I cut the miters, and this is the solution for making sure multiple pieces are the exact same size. Works great. Just simple wood glue here. That has never failed me. Here I'm cutting the panels that will go in between the frames. A bit of glue. And brad nails. Extra strong. I use a Forstner bit to make an area where a metal washer can sit. I drilled holes and countersunk that metal washer off camera. Now I prepare the fabric. A little bit of spray adhesive never hurts. Even though the fabric will be pulled very tight, I didn't want it wiggling around. And staples everywhere. Here are metal edge protectors. These go on stage amps. Drill a hole, drive some screws, good to go. Look at these feet, huge rubber feet, also meant for stage amps. Here I add the piano hinges. Epoxy end screws hold the washer in place. The magnet will be pulling on it, and I wanted to make sure it didn't go anywhere. Here's the very powerful magnet on the opposite side. The silver screws, have to paint them black. I used some tape on the opposite panel, which needs completely wrapped in fabric. And that panel just pressure fits inside the space, and brad nails for good measure. Here I'm putting on the handle, and this completes the DJ screen. Now off to the sign. I ripped some MDF strips for the sides of the sign. I mark the glass and then break the glass. I'm getting pretty good at this. Perfect. I make two quick passes on the table saw, one for a rabbit and the other for a dado slightly below it. Wood glue holds everything together, and I put a permanent piece of glass in the dado. This piece of wood sits on top of the glass, and I use spray adhesive to attach a laser printout of the text that will appear on the bottom of the sign. Here I use some 2-part epoxy to put letters I carved on my X-Carve directly on the glass. This is the top part of the sign. This thin piece of plywood I cut in strips. This will be a frame which will go completely around the sign on the front. The frame I just glue together. Again, just glue. Now I thread the LED strip through, and I want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, so I use hot glue. This is the back piece. The visible part will be white, and that gets epoxied in place. After the epoxy dries, I come back with wood glue and I put an additional backer on for additional strength. Then a piece of glass goes in the very top rabbet. That 1/8 inch strip at the top gets some wood glue, and then the frame will go on top of that. I probably should have had thicker material there, but I'm going for it. After that dries, off to the router table. You can see I put a French cleat on the back. I have a straight cutting bit with a bearing on the top. Now the top is completely flush with the sides. And that's it. When this is done, I put some more paint on it. Here's the finished product. It looks like and is as rugged as professional stage equipment. Great looking sign. Cool marketing options with the business cards. Awesome through and through. I love it. And so do the Bald Boys from Bald Boys Entertainment.